Hello, and welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it Hope Perpetuates Suffering. Now, what I mean by that is not that I'm taking away what you may consider maybe the benefit or the whatever people feel when they talk about hope. But let's look at it differently now so you can see where this is pointing to. Because all I want for you is to be happy, to be at peace. That's it. Now, what is hope? Hope is a denial or a resistance or judgment to the present experience, just as it is unfolding. This is the present moment experience, but I don't like the way it looked like. I don't like the way it is because it doesn't go in accord to how I think it should be. And consequently, I'm experiencing suffering. You follow? And now what the mind does to cover up that suffering, it comes up with the term or the concept called hope. I hope things will be different. I hope things will be better. But that judgment comes from the idea that I know best. Now, look at something interesting. The moment I judge the present moment experience as not good enough or incorrect for whatever the reason is, what I'm really saying is that the universe has made a mistake. That God does not know best, but I do. You see? And that suffering leads to the hope that things are going to be different or they're going to be better or whatever the case may be. Now, there's a difference between what's happening and what it means. This is very important. Life is happening, however it's happening, but what it means to me is the cause of all the suffering. So, the invitation in these videos, beginning on the surface, because then we're going to go to the core, which is the fact of who or what I am. But on the surface, beginning with that, the present moment experience, which is what is, if you do not project meaning onto it, you experience peace, you experience happiness. You follow? So when you look at the cause of the suffering, you have to find some sort of a story. Now, I'm not talking about pain, physical pain. I mean, physical pain is uncomfortable, but it can be lived through rather than suffered. I'm talking about the psychological consequence of the meaning that we project onto the present moment experience. So, there is what is, right? No suffering. The moment a meaning is projected onto it, that's the cause of suffering. And now that I am suffering, I come up with another concept, like I said before, which is called hope. But you know what? I hope things will get better. I hope things will be different. And that is just covering up the suffering underneath. And what we're doing here is to look at the suffering, which is a meaning that is projected onto the present moment experience, so that we can rest in the peace that surpasses all understanding, the happiness that this is all pointing to, which you have access to it right now because it's what you are. You are the peace, you are the happiness, you are the background that is overshadowed by the meaning that the thoughts, the mind is projected onto it, and consequently, that is what it leads to the suffering. And then the mind comes up with its own sort of solution. Let's talk about hope. Let's hope that things are better. But again, all of that, it just keep perpetuating the suffering that is underneath. An invitation here is for you to recognize the happiness, the peace that you are right now, always, no matter what. Now, why did I say that was the surface? Because in reality, the only reason why we can experience the comings and goings of the seeming life experience is because we believe that we're this separate entity. You see? When I believe the thought I am this individual, every single thought, every single meaning has to be attached to what? To something, in this case, to this me. Because when I look at the present moment experience, again, we're not talking about physical pain, we're talking about psychological, it's just what it is. But if I believe that I'm this individual, everything has to do with me. This could be a threat to me, or this could be something that this me seems to want. But it's still this me here. And as long as there is this me, then the mind will have plenty of room to play with. Because only things could happen to me. And it's always trying to protect this me. But what if there's no me? Then life simply is. It's like when you're sleeping and you're dreaming. When you're identified with the character in the dream, everything that happens in the dream that could seem to be a threat to that character generates psychological fear. And the purpose is not to try to give hope to the character in the dream. The purpose is to recognize that it's a dream, so you can actually come back to this space of the witness, in which now the dream has no psychological effect on the mind. Well, these videos are pointing to the fact that you are, and resting in the fact that you are, the world of appearances won't have a psychological effect on what you are. So whenever you find yourself experiencing suffering or in rejection of the present moment experience of whatever, there's nothing wrong with that. You just step back, take a deep breath, and rest in the fact that I am. And in that moment, you will experience the essence, which is referred to as the peace that surpasses all understanding. But this is not a game that we play to manipulate the mind in order for me to say that, okay, I am at peace right now. This is pointing to the peace that you already are. Right now, you are that peace while you're listening, or the words are being said, or the sounds of these words are being heard. You are while seeing, perception seems to be taking place. You are while feelings seems to be taking place. In other words, you always are. But when you believe you are this someone or this something, then to that something is this is not, should not be like this. I want this to be like that. Life should be different. God made a mistake. The universe doesn't know any better. And then again, this is where it gets complicated. But resting in this, which is the invitation, by not believing the content of the mind, then you are free. You see? You are the freedom, like the last book of the series. I mean, I am freedom. You are freedom. You're not even free. You are the freedom itself, which is what these videos are always pointing to. And in freedom, you're already happy. You're just simply watching the play unfold. You're not affected by how the mind is interpreting the content, and now you see things as they are, nor how you think they should be. You see? And that's the difference between what's happening and what does it mean. And all we're doing here is not denying the what's happening. We're not suppressing nor avoiding the what's happening. We're just not projecting meaning onto whatever is happening, and consequently, you are at peace, you are happy, and there's no need for hope, because now you have discovered the fact that you are. You see? And this is the inspiration that came through, and it's funny because at the end of the videos I say, I hope this served, but in this context, the word hope is basically a kind of friendly way of I wish or I desire that this might have served you. So anyway, like I always say, I hope this served. And as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can become evident.